Hey, FlashPoint Army, are you looking for truth and news all in the spirit of faith? Well, don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay connected. Not a part of the FlashPoint Army? Sign up for the latest email updates at govictory.com/FP signup and join us as we stand for truth and freedom. Let's bring this back home. Last night there was a debate. I know you're like me, you're going, So, Republican debate last night. John, did you watch it, the debate last night?
I did. I watched all of them.
All right.
I take copious notes in case you ask me something, Gene.
Well, I'm going to play a clip for you. Now, let me say right here, lest all of my viewers go, oh, Gene's supporting Vivek Raman. I am not supporting Vivek, okay? So pull it back in. But I want you to see what he had to say last night, because there was some moments that I think he good score. They probably didn't like it, but anyway, watch what he had to say.
Swami, let me turn to you. Please make your case. Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. Do you think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made-up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Ross.
Sorry. This is how we get our country back. We need accountability because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
Let me turn to Governor Christie. Why you?
Let me turn to somebody else here. Your time is up. Les, he hated that moment. All right, but look, here's the part. He wasn't done yet. No, there's more. Watch.
I also want to close with one message to the Democrat Party. End this farce that Joe Biden is going to be your nominee. We know he's not even the president of the United States. He's a puppet for the managerial class. So have the guts to step up and be honest about who you're actually going to put up so we can have an honest debate. Biden should step aside, end his candidacy now so we can see whether it's Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever else.
All right,
just tell us the truth so we can have an honest debate.
There you go. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Matthew, I'll let you go first with that little piece of video since you're the new guy.
Well, I think Donald Trump got elected in 2016 because he did the shocking thing of actually telling the American people what he actually thinks. Look, I'm a former Washington, D.C. guy. I worked in the Bush administration. I worked on the Hill. And remember how hard everybody worked to think about how we say certain things to the American people. And I'm not against, putting your best foot forward and phrasing things in the right way, but they also worked really hard not to say what they actually thought. And it drove me nuts. It's why I ended up leaving eventually. So it is really refreshing to watch anybody stand up on that stage and say what we're all thinking and speak truth to power, Gene. So this is a conversation that needs to be had. And I'm grateful for him to bring it up.
All right, Pastor Che.
I totally agree. We are to speak the truth in love, especially if you call yourself a conservative Christian or with biblical values, Judeo-Christian values. It's one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not bear false witness. And so we need truth to set people free. You should know the truth, and truth will set you free. And so it was refreshing. I think that's why Trump was so effective because he had the chutzpah, if I could use the Yiddish word, to stand up to media. And that's what we need. We need someone to take a strong stand against media, which is all about fake news, in order to really bring about the truth to our nation.
So good, so good. And of course, stand against the other media, not this media, because we're good.
Yes,
we're good.
Of course,
we're good right
fake media, right.
All right, John, your thoughts?
You know, I agree with both of them. I think that he tapped into a little bit of what Trump is shaking things up by saying things people think but are not politically correct to say, or like not the normal protocol of what you're supposed to do. I mean, he came out and went after him at the very beginning. I don't know if it's going to help him. It seemed when he first said it was at the very beginning of the debate, and he wasn't answering the question. He just went after him. So something happened there in the behind the scenes with Ronna McDaniel. A lot of people are frustrated. I'm one of them that's included. I'm sick and tired of losing. And that theme then came up with several of the other candidates. It's like one of the things Ron DeSantis says, you're going to promise you get sick of winning. Well, I'm sick of losing. And so there is people tapping in to this kind of what is going to happen. And I'm telling you, God has said this over and over and over to me. Don't predict what's going to happen in 2024. I think there's going to be something very uncharted territory, very unpredictable, and it could be very, very wild. If there's a no labels, there's already RFK Jr., Robert Kennedy Jr. is getting in as an independent now. There could be a war. There could be, criminal things that lead to Trump in prison. I mean, this thing could go so many different ways, Gene. We don't know. And so the only thing that's happening, frankly, in the debates is it's gone from 8 down to 5. I think it's going to go to 3 because Scott and Christie probably can't make December 6th. And I don't know with Vivek, he's down. He's actually going down because he kind of takes both positions throughout the debates.
Yeah, he does.
And so it's kind of coming down to Haley and DeSantis. And if you read the crosstabs, I know you don't want to get too far in the weeds here. There's 25% that are never leaving Trump in the Republican primary. There's 25% that are never voting for him. But there's 50% of the people, the majority of the party, is kind of going, how is this going to shake out? How's this going to work out? And they're now whittling this down to really 3 people. And 68 days from now, we're going to know whatever happens in Iowa, that's going to tell us how the next 3 months are going to unfold.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a ride. Stay with FlashPoint the whole way here because we're going to cover it as much as we possibly can and make sure you're up to speed on it. I got time for one person. So since Matthew Faraci, his voice really is okay. His internet's bad. So I'm going to let you give the final call. You got to wrap it up. You got a minute there, Matthew. Go ahead.
Well, I want to bring this back to, Gene, if I could bring this back to one issue that I was glad that I saw they had an extensive conversation on last night, and they were essentially fighting each other about who would be best on Israel. That's the conversation we want to have. It's really interesting. If you think about it, we don't know. We know a lot about what God has said, and we know a lot about what God has done, but we don't know a lot about what God does actively right now as we're speaking. And yet in the Torah, it says in Deuteronomy, it says that the eyes of the Lord are on Israel all the time, from the beginning of the year to the end. And so if God cares about Israel that much, that he told us that that's what he's doing all the time from the beginning of the year to the end, then that's the issue that we should all look to know who we should support. Because I firmly believe, Gene, that one of the reasons America has not yet experienced greater judgment is because we've continued to support Israel. The second we stop, game's over, as far as I'm concerned.
And I think everybody here watching would agree with you. Thank you, Matthew. Listen, I want to say thank you to Kirk Cameron, of course, John Graves, Pastor Chayon, Matthew Faraci, and listen, thank you for watching every week. Pastor Chase, good to have you in the studio with us today.
It's an honor. Again, thank you.
All right, come join us, Pasadena. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great time. We look forward to seeing you there. Until then, remember, everything you need to know about FlashPoint is right here on the Victory channel. GoVictory.com/FP Live for all of the events.